Hello?
Hello. You
Hello.
alright?
Yeah,
Long time, isn't it?
it's been a very long time. I don't even remember when the last time was that we had a call like this. It's been,
I
quite some
know.
time.
Well, I've got something to tell you.
Go on.
I've never seen a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
What, really?
Well, no, actually, no, I have. I've seen, I've seen two of them, but it just sounds better if I start it with that I've never seen one, have I?
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, I've been fascinated with this. Not fascinated. I've been annoyed by it, right? Because I love films and all that. I love all the films that they do. For some reason, I don't know why. I suppose I didn't grow up with it or anything like that. So,
Did you not even watch any of the cartoons or anything like that? Because there was loads of those when we were young.
No, I think I watched X-Men as a kid, but I wasn't like properly into it.
Yeah, but that was quality. That one. That was like a really good version of it as well.
Right, okay, but I never really got into it, and the reason why I got annoyed by the whole Marvel thing is that it just completely, it still has taken over. It's still taken over cinema, isn't it? I mean, It's like the main thing. That's where all the money goes, and all that because it's so big, it's so successful. And by the time I thought I might give this a go, I think I spoke to someone about it. I don't think it was you. And sort of said, maybe I do. Maybe I need to watch these superhero films because, at least once I'm in, I can enjoy these films that are coming out. And then someone said, yeah, you got to watch these 12 films first. And I was like, well, no, that's not going to happen. What if I don't like what I want to just jump aboard now? But my situation has changed somewhat because Harry turns 8 next. I tell you what the turning point was, James. Harry turns 8 next month, and he wanted to go see a film just before he went back to school after Christmas. And he said, "Oh, I want to watch Ghostbusters," and that was a 12A. And I took him to see the new Ghostbusters film, and instantly regretted it because it was like really horrific. Lots of like scary monsters, lots of jump scares and all this sort of stuff. And he just didn't care. He loved every minute of it. Like come out singing the Ghostbusters theme tune. I was like, right, we can go and see like action films and stuff now and I don't have to be worried about it. If he can handle that, he can handle a lot more things than I thought he could. And it was a toss-up at the time when we were looking at what to go and see between that and the new Spider-Man film. Homecoming, is it?
It's No Way Home. Yeah, it's the third one.
No Way Home. Okay. Yeah. I was close. There was a home in it. And so I thought, maybe we can make this our thing. Maybe we can watch these Marvel films together. So I sort of spoke to him about it and said, there's this thing called the Marvel Universe or whatever, and there's loads of these films, and maybe we'll just watch them one a week. And I thought, well, if I'm doing that, I know my friend James is a massive fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever. So I was like, okay. It's time for another Calls series, isn't it? I mean, we have to do this.
I think it'd be good because, there's a lot. This is quite a big commitment, though, Dave. Like, if we're actually going to do this, it's quite a big commitment. I've heard
that it's 18 films, right?
It's not 18 films. I don't know where you've heard that from.
What is it, then?
It's 27 films, Dave.
No, it's not.
It is. It's 27 films. Seriously.
27?
As of the one that just came out that I actually watched this afternoon, like in the cinema, it's 27 films. Yeah, and that's not including. I mean, we're not going to bother. I doubt with like all the TV show spin-offs and everything.
No. I'm not watching any TV show stuff. No.
If we just, you can just stick with the films. That's no problem at all. Like you'll get the whole thing from that. But it's 27 films, which is quite a lot of films.
27 mainline films.
Yes. Yeah.
Over how many years? When did this start?
Okay, so it started in 2008. That's the first release, and they're releasing several a year, like in for some of the years. There's a lot of these that come out.
27 films.
Yep.
In the space of 14 years.
Yes.
And we're only just into 20. That's insane. That's insane.
I know, but that's why this has been like, people look at this as being like, this has been a massive achievement. Like, to have put all of this together, and it all makes generally coherent sense. Like, over such a long period of time, the planning that's gone into this is incredible.
Not that long a period, just lots of films. Okay, I've got a few questions about these films, right? How long are they generally? They're not like insane. They're not like 3-hour films, are they?
No. Well, some of the more recent ones have been a bit excessively long, but the earlier ones, the ones that we're going to kick off with, they're not that long. They're quite short. Well, 2 hours usually, around that sort of length.
And what other like sort of certificates are they getting? There's no like one that's going to come out. It's like 15, is it? There's nothing. There's no 15 in these.
No, there's not. It's not like that. Although the second one that we're going to have some debate about is probably the most like violent out of the lot of them, I'd say.
The second one that we're going to have a debate about. What do you mean?
Well, because the thing is it's one of those ones where it's like, you don't have to see it to get like for it to be part of the whole sort of universe, as it were, but it is still part of it, and it's still. I mean,
what does that mean? What, it's either in or it's not, right?
Well, I think it's in. I think it's in, but some people are like, "Oh no, it shouldn't be," and all that. But it is. It's.
Why shouldn't it be?
It's on the official list. It's on the official list for Phase 1.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's
Phase 1. There are phases.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're in Phase 4 now. Like, that's where we're up to. And like in life, as it were, and you've got Phase 1, which is how many films? 1, 2, 3, 4,
as in
5.
life.
Yeah. Okay, so Phase 1 is 6 films. That's the first 6 films.
I'm regretting this.
Then you got Phase 2, which has got another 6 films, and then Phase 3, which has got a lot of films as part of it. But
I suppose what's a good thing about doing this, right, is that, I mean, if you're listening to this, if like when people listen to these calls, it's we're chatting on Sunday the 16th of January 2022.
Yeah.
When we said we were going to do this, which was only about 2 days ago, we decided we were going to do this. We said, okay, let's do this like no one can know that we're doing this. This is a secret. Mm-hmm. So Matt doesn't know about it. Sean doesn't know about it. No one else knows. I haven't told a single person. Joe knows, obviously. My wife knows, obviously. And Harry knows, because he knows that I'm going to be asking his opinion and including his comments within my notes for these films. But the beauty is, because we're in that situation, I can just ditch it.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
Any time, and it doesn't make a difference. People just won't hear these calls.
Yeah. Or no, you could still put them out and just be like, no, this is it. I'm done. This is terrible. I can't.
But the other thing I was thinking as well is, like, it's good that we're doing this because there are spoilers involved, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a way of avoiding spoilers. Like, I wouldn't want someone to just tweet me, "Here's the end of, I don't know, I don't know, or what are the guys from the film?
The Avengers.
American Man.
The end of the Avengers.
Here's the end of the Avengers. Yeah. But that would ruin it for me. Look, I'm not completely oblivious, right? I know some of the superheroes. I know that there's one called Thor, which, I'll be honest with you, that sounds really crap. I don't like the idea of Thor. He's just got a hammer. He's got a hammer, right?
Yeah, he's
the only one that can pick up that. Right, okay, well, before we go there, before we go what I know about these superheroes, because I think we should go there, let me be completely clear with what I've seen. I have seen the first Iron Man film. I know that, and I remember enjoying it, but that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. And I remember enjoying that as well. I remember thinking that was all right.
See, that's the second one, and that's the one that's like, it's on the slate as being it's part of it. But I mean, I would like to watch that because I think it's worth watching again. It's
okay. I watched that with Joe, and I remember us both going, that's all right. But then what's the third one?
Okay, so the third one's Iron Man 2.
Oh, really? Shit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I've not seen Iron Man 2, so that would be interesting. But I'll be honest with you, I don't remember much about Iron Man. No, that's a lie, because I've seen that film, and then about 4 years ago it was on the telly, and I watched like the opening 20 minutes again. You know, where he gets captured, doesn't he? And then the terrorists hold him to ransom or something.
That's the first film, but yeah.
Yeah. So that sort of refreshed my memory about the start of that film, but I can't remember what happens from there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if there must be a bad guy in it, and then they fight.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a bad guy. There usually is. Okay. You know, it's usually the
it'd be a pretty crap superhero film. It was just like all good guys.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me try and work it out. So let me try and and the other reason why I wanted to do this is that I recently played through the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and I thought, you know, this is right up my street. This stuff, I like this. And of course, I played through the Spider-Man and Miles Morales games, and I was like, okay, I'm digging this stuff. This is cool. But Guardians of the Galaxy is part of the Marvel universe, isn't it? So
it is. Although it starts. That's in Phase 2, so that's like a bit further down the line. See, this is the thing that we've got to talk about with this, is that the first, Phase 1, which I think we need to at least get through Phase 1, you've got to remember these films are the setup, like, for the rest of the whole thing, really. They're like they're not the best, I wouldn't say. They're still good, right. But they're there to like establish all the characters and then bring them together for Avengers, like at the end of that phase. And then the ones after that are some really good ones, actually. Yeah.
So let's see how far I can go with my knowledge of what I know about superheroes. And this is a it's a cultural black hole for me. So it's not. I'm not like saying, "Oh, no, cool that I don't know them." It's just that I've never got into them, so I don't know them. Right? That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So I know Iron Man is Tony Stark, and he's like a billionaire because I've seen that film, and he's a billionaire, and he gets captured, and then he creates an Iron Man suit, and then he flies around. Right? I know that. I know. Let's go. The Incredible Hulk, of course, just a guy who gets angry and turns green and is really strong. Right, I know that.
Do you know why he turns green, or is that's going to be off it?
Just chemicals. We're going to say chemicals. Okay. Chemicals involved.
Okay. Chemicals. There's chemicals involved. Yeah.
Yep. Right. Okay. Let's go to Thor next, because I think Thor is a big deal in these films, right?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So Thor has a hammer.
Yeah.
That he can pick. He can pick up. I think you don't have to confirm. Yeah. Right, you don't have to confirm, but this is just what only he can pick up, and I think that hammer has like a jewel in it or something, and then that does some crazy shit. I think I know Spider-Man. Spider-Man's an easy story. He's just a kid that gets bitten by a spider and he flies about in that. Because not only have I seen. Have I seen some of the older Spider-Man films? Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. But no, it's the Batman films that they've rebooted about 1 million times, isn't it?
No, they've done it. They've done it with Spider-Man as well. There's like
really?
There's been like there was the Tobey Maguire ones, which were Sam Raimi. He made the trilogy, and then they rebooted it with Alex Garfield, and not very good.
This is where
Andrew Garfield.
This is where I struggle. The Avengers. Now, I think the Avengers are a collection of superheroes, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I think I'm right. I don't know if Spider-Man is an Avenger, but we'll find that out, I'm sure, as I'm watching the films. Captain America, that's one, isn't it? He's got a shield, and he chucks that.
He's got a special shield, yeah, which is made of vibranium.
Okay, good. I'll note that down. And there are some others. I can't remember. Is the Flash one?
No, that's DC.
Right, okay. Okay, that then brings me to the end of my knowledge. So wait, there's more than that, isn't there? There's Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously I know a bit about now through playing the game.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get to those films. There are others.
There are.
Was it okay? Here's one, because I know that Ant-Man was a film, and what is that part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or was that?
It is indeed. Yeah, that's a Phase 2 film. Yeah.
Okay, because that always seemed like they were treating that like a sort of parody piss take film, right? That's more of a comedy, isn't it?
Well, a lot of them are, honestly. Like, this is one of the reasons why these films have been so successful, is because a lot of them don't really take the whole thing like incredibly seriously, and they are quite funny, like in places as well. And that's one of the reasons for the success.
That's good news. That's good news. I love a bit of comedy. And then there's Black Panther. I know that. And then there's one with a bow and arrow.
That's Hawkeye. Yeah.
Is that its own film?
Not yet, no. Although there has been a TV series for him. Okay.
And they're the ones that I know. I think that's it. There's Wonder Woman. Is Wonder Woman DC?
No, that's also DC. Yeah.
That's DC. Right, yeah. Right, okay. That's not bad, though, for someone that doesn't know, right?
That's not too...
What are you laughing at?
Have you heard of Black Widow?
I've heard the name.
Okay, we'll come to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Another one at me. Throw another one at me.
Nick Fury?
No, absolutely not. That sounds like a wrestler from the 80s. I genuinely thought that was a wrestler from the 80s. Nick Fury.
Yeah,
Go Rage in the Cage Strange? Or whatever it's called.
Doctor Strange?
No, that's what I call you, James. No, any others?
Shang-Chi?
Nope.
No.
Next.
Captain Marvel?
What? There's one called Captain Marvel. Did they just get lazy at naming these things? Captain Marvel Universe?
Yeah.
Captain? Comic Book Man?
Yes, Doctor Strange. And,
there's film character. There's box office hit. Have you seen the box office hit one? Because that's really good. Please see my movie. That was a good one. I'll watch that. What the fuck? Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. It's it's one key character towards the end. Yeah.
Does he can he just turn into any of the Marvel characters? Does she turn into any Marvel characters? Is that
No, it's not like that.
She kicks her fingers and turns into Spider-Man.
She's not Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. You know.
It's man, that. If only. Yeah. If only. So what's your if you're trying to convince me to get into these films, what's your spiel? What are you saying? Firstly, convince me to watch them, and then I want your advice on what I should do when watching these films.
Okay, so I do think these films are worth watching because they are like a cultural phenomenon, as it were, and I think that generally the filmmaking is probably better than like the Star Wars films that we've watched. Like honestly, some of these are really very well made films, and they've got a lot of heart. I mean, that's one of the other reasons why I like a lot of these films. They're great. Right. I mean, I've watched most of these with the family, and that's how I got into this, was because the kids were interested, and I was like, I'm not so sure, because actually growing up I mostly watched like DC stuff because that was what was popular when I was growing up.
Yeah, so I've seen most of the Batman films.
Yeah, exactly. It was all that stuff, and Superman, and with Christopher Reeve and stuff like that. That's what I was into.
I was never
growing up.
Into Superman.
No,
Superman seemed like a cheat code to me.
Well, yeah, it is obviously. It's
because I had Batman comics when I was a kid, but I didn't watch any of the cartoons or anything. But I knew the Batman story, and it was like, oh, you're very vulnerable. You're just you're incredibly talented, Mr. Bruce. but you can see the vulnerabilities there, and I guess that's why I like the X-Men cartoons when I was a kid, because they all had their own stuff going on, and that was always clashing and all sorts. Whereas every time I looked at Superman, I was like, oh no, someone shot Superman in the head. Oh, it just bounced off. What's the fucking
It's like whatever
point?
it is, it's got to involve kryptonite somewhere.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, but what about kryptonite? Yeah, but he's on Earth, where kryptonite is not here. What the fuck?
But then the thing is I found from watching these films that a lot of these characters are a lot more pretty laid as well. Yeah, there's a lot there, and there's a lot to sort of to get involved with. I mean, like Tony Stark, he's a brilliant character. You'll see, as the films go on. Maybe not the first film, maybe not so much, but they really do because there's massive things that happen in these films, huge sort of earth shattering events, as it were, and the way that they then show the characters dealing with this is great. Like it's really, I think it's really really well done.
Well, that's part of what I loved about Guardians of the Galaxy, the video game. And I know that it's separate from the movies and it goes in a different direction. The characters are not the same in the film. You've told me that, but like that whole the squabbling is not just about squabbling or whatever. They're dealing with issues, and that really came across in that game. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So anything on that level would be
there's
appreciated.
a lot, you see, and that's the thing. I think there's quite a lot of that in these. Like as I said, maybe not in phase 1 so much, but then once it gets to phase 2, it really starts to kick off with that kind of stuff, and like the relationships between the different characters and everything. There's quite a lot of depth there. And as I said, I've watched it with my family.
Films though,
27
films. I swear someone told me it was 18 films.
Well, it probably was when you
really
asked them, but then they pumped up a load more. You know, it's
they did. They released 10 last year. Was there have there been any flops, like complete flops in this, or have they all been hits?
There's been creative flops, I would say, or films that people haven't enjoyed so much. But
I'm talking about box office.
No, flops. Commercially they've all done like incredible numbers. I mean, if you look at the box office for it, it's like $25 billion. Like,
oh my god, really?
Yes, they've made like 25. I mean, they made $25 billion like cumulatively, like over this. It's incredible. Like this is on another level. Like this stuff, it's incredible how much money they've made.
That's disgusting.
It is, yeah, and it's done very well for them.
25 billion. Oh my god! And the budgets, I assume, are just sickening.
Well, you'd say that, but I mean, I'm just having a look here. Like the budget the cumulative budget for all of them has been like $5.2 billion, and they've made $25 billion. So they've done all right. You know, they've made their money.
They've done okay out of that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Shit, man. Okay, so any advice going into these films? Like what?
I mean, my main advice would be that like the phase 1, like the first 6 films, don't think that these are going to represent what you end up with towards the back end, because
but I'm watching them with Harry, so like is he going to be like these?
I don't know, because that's the thing, because you see, I watched these with our children, right? And Asher really liked the Ironman films a lot, and he liked Thor actually like quite a lot, and the Avengers. But Captain America, which is one of my favourite characters, he was less interested in.
Really?
Mostly
Captain America? Isn't Captain America lame?
No, absolutely not. It's just, and I don't do that. He's not lame. He's okay. He's just a different kind of character to like. Tony
but from the outside, it just seems like American propaganda. Like,
well, yeah, but he's just trying to do the right thing, you know, and it's just
okay.
I can appreciate
Keep
that.
Fucking it up. What's the funniest one?
Ooh, that's quite tricky. I mean, most of the Spider-Man ones are pretty funny. They're pretty good.
I don't like Spider. I don't like I don't know. I'm worried about the Spider-Man films.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like wisecracking.
It's not really wisecracking, but that's a bit of a worry, because there's quite a lot of wisecracking in all of these films. Like they love doing that.
Really? Yeah.
They're always cracking wise, like all the time. It's like they love it.
But maybe I'm one of these people that says they don't like wisecracking, but I actually do, because I like the Uncharted series, and I like the I like that Guardians of the Galaxy game.
I mean, if you got something out of some of those Star Wars films that we saw, some of which were not very good, then I'm really convinced that you'll find some of these pretty good.
I don't think I got anything out of the prequels.
Okay, there's not a single one of these films is as bad as any of those prequel films, honestly.
Okay, that's good.
It's not on that level. It's and, I mean, they make coherent sense, and like the scripts are not like complete jokes either. So no.
All right. Okay. So, what was the first one you watched?
The first one I watched probably was Ironman. Actually, I remember seeing it in the cinema. Yeah, like.
And then were you in
China,
then from then on? Like you just watched everyone that come out since then? Like in order?
This is the thing, because I watched them, like some of them, like it's what happens, isn't it? It's like you go to the cinema and it's like, oh, that's on, let's go and watch that. But I wasn't really into it, and I remember seeing like Avengers, and I hadn't seen like some of the other films like preceding those, and I didn't really know what was going on. And I just came out and was like, that was a mess of the film. I have no idea what was going on in that. It was crazy. But then after I went back and I watched all of these with the family, and then when we got to Avengers, it was actually significantly better because I'd watched all the others. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm invested in these characters now, and like I get why things were how they were. That's the thing, and these really do work. I mean, some of these you can watch as like
independent films or whatever.
Yeah. And but the majority of them, you really get so much more out of them if you watch them all, especially in order, I think.
I'll tell you what I'm interested to see. First thing I'm interested to see is if I get involved in the references, right? Like if it keeps it within the cinematic universe, then I'm sure that's exciting. I'm a little bit worried that a character is going to show up and I haven't got a fucking clue who they are. You know what I mean?
See, that's the other thing that they're very good at. That like they're really good at introducing characters, and they give this is one of the reasons why there's 27 films here, is because they give each most characters enough space.
Genuinely, that number seems to go up every time you say it. Like, go on. Unless they're releasing them now as we're talking.
Well, there's more stuff coming out this year. I mean, we've got one coming out in May. And
how many are you expecting this year?
We're expecting 3 this year, actually.
Whoa, they're bringing one out and then another one out 2 months later.
Yeah, we've got one in May, one in July, and then one in November.
Hold on, because we're also going to be talking about the fan base while watching this, obviously. Mm-hmm. But on the fan base going, this is a bit much now.
No, people love it. They can't get enough. And especially, I mean, also, like, they're doing all the TV stuff as well, which is, like, all connected with all this.
That's right, because I watched half of the series where they're in like a 60s comedy and then a 70s comedy.
See, again, it was WandaVision.
WandaVision, that's it. Yeah. I watched half of that.
Didn't like it, no?
I liked it until they got outside. And then I was a little bit like, okay.
See, again, that's the thing. Like, if you'd have seen all the other stuff preceding that, a lot of that would have meant a lot more to you. Like, seriously,
okay.
It's all of that is like this, and this is why it's ridiculous, and this is why it is quite a big ask to like get into this now, because of the fact that there's so many of these films, and it's like, as I said, you can watch these without having seen things, but it's so much richer if you have. Is the problem? It's and
it was getting to the point where Charlie would go to bed, and Harry would be sitting up, and he might just be playing Switch in the corner or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I love watching films with you. And once he's into a film, he's into it. And I just thought, why don't we just set one night aside a week and we watch a film? And it's like, instead of sitting there going, oh, what are we going to watch? What if we just start there? And then we've got like all this content ahead of us to get through. So, yeah, one a week seems like doable now.
Yeah.
Although that is 27 weeks.
Yeah, it's half a year. You know, it's
that is
a bit more than half a year. But no, that's what we did.
Where we don't watch them, but
this is what we did as well. Like we did this at home. Like we watched all of them like with the kids, and yeah, it's just, and they just got so into it. Like it was like now, like we were at the cinema today, like watching like Spider-Man, and like through the whole film, Asher just keeps leaning over and he's just like referencing things and just like saying like, is this because of this and all that. It's very cool. Like when you've got
you're
that,
like shush.
Yeah, it's like, be quiet and enjoy the movie.
So I'm starting on Ironman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
What year did this come out again?
Yeah, it was 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
And this was this announced to be part of the MCU? Like, with that, like, this is the start of everything, guys, or did that sort of, is that retrospect?
Not really. Okay, the intention was to do this, but it wasn't like they came out and said, "Okay, we're making 27 films."
Obviously not. They didn't know what the future was going to be, but
because also this was a bit of a roll of the dice as well, because there's a whole other thing with this that we can talk about after you've seen the film, involving what the state that Marvel was in when this film came out.
Okay. Because we'll talk about that. So this is the film that I've seen. Mm-hmm. I've forgotten a huge chunk of it. We will watch that this week, and I will take notes, and maybe we can go through it.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be interesting.
Shit. All right, then. What's the start of my journey?
I just seeing if we get through phase one.
Do you think I'll like? Do you think I'll like it?
I don't know. It's a tough one because I think you'll like the Ironman films actually. Like after you like been through them, and I think that you'll like Captain America actually.
Okay.
Thor, I'm not so sure.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Okay, Thor's a risky one.
Yeah, but then as I said,
what about the Avengers?
If you've seen all these other ones, I think you'll like it. I think it's a good one. Okay,
that sounds positive. Sounds positive. I'm fascinated to see how, because Harry's shown no interest in superheroes growing up. Mm-hmm. So I'm fascinated to see if he gets into them or if he gets to a point where he's like, I don't want to watch this tonight, Dad. Do you know what I mean?
Then you're like, you have to. We're doing a podcast about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that to him. If he taps out, I might have to tap out, which again is fine because no one knows we're doing this. This is a big secret project.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then, James. Well, thanks for your advice. I will give you a call once I've watched the Ironman.
Ironman. Yeah.
That's the one. Boy. Yeah. I will catch you later.
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye.
I'm scared. Okay. Bye.
So bye. Bye.